The very first step any blogger will come across in his or her journey is finding a niche. Finding a niche is very important because it's really going to set the course of the next couple of months to years. If you go with a niche that has way too much competition, you might find that your site will not rank because the competition is just too high. And if you go with a niche that you simply aren't interested in, chances are you will stop writing about it because you're losing interest in the topic. And because websites usually take up to 8 months or more before they start gaining any traffic, finding a right niche that you like and enjoy and can write about consistently is of the utmost importance. Luckily, finding the right niche really doesn't have to be that difficult. My name is Jasper, and in this video I'm going to take you through my 4 steps on finding the right niche for your website. Now these steps, they will work whether you're starting your first website, your 10th, your 20th, your 30th. It really doesn't matter because these steps can always be repeated and you will always find success with them. But before we dive into these steps, let's just take a close look as to why finding the right niche is so important. Now the number one reason why picking the right niche is so important is because you're going to spend a lot of time on it. When you're building a blog, you're probably going to write upwards of 50 to 100 blog posts before you're going to start to see any results. In this period of time, your motivation could be extremely low. Your motivation is probably very high in the first 2 months because you're just starting, you're doing something new, you're excited. But after those 2 months, you might start to lose some interest because you're really not seeing any results and you're starting to wonder if it's actually worth it. These results, of course, will come after maybe 8 to 12 months. But in that time span where you're just starting to lose some interest and you're not really seeing any results either, you really do have to keep the number one rule in mind when it comes to blogging, and that is that content is king. You simply cannot stop writing content for your blog because you're losing interest and you're not seeing any results. Because when you stop, chances are you simply will not generate enough of a snowball effect for Google to push you to the number one spot. And that's where picking the right niche comes into play, because if you pick a niche that you do not enjoy writing about at the first place, writing about it at downtimes where you simply aren't seeing any results, motivation levels are low, with the wrong niche this will be even harder. If you pick a niche that you are interested in, chances are you can continue to keep on writing because it's a topic you enjoy and it's something you could talk about without seeing any results anyway. Now that's why I always advocate you go with a niche that you enjoy and not one that will make you more money. Of course, the high RPM, the money-making niches, they are also way more competitive, which again requires even more time before you can see any results. So just to put it simply, go with a niche you enjoy writing about. Go with something you can write about even when you're not really seeing any results. So how do we pick the right niche? Well, the very first step of my 4 steps is that you just think of something yourself. Do you have any particular interest in a topic? Do you know something more than most people about a certain topic? These really are things you already enjoy, and there really aren't any wrong answers. You can think about writing about lighting, about cameras, about interior design, painting. It could literally be anything. What is just something you know more than most people know about it? Now this is probably the easiest way because it's already something you do enjoy and it's already something you know something about. So this really is the easiest way. You don't have to go out of your way. Of course, over time you'll learn even more about this topic. Now if you cannot think of any niche yourself, it's time to move on to step number 2, and this is probably your next easiest method. And this is to just look around in your room. There are so many potential niches just in any living room or in any bedroom. So maybe just go to your bedroom. Is there anything you see right in plain sight that you can write about? Is there anything you enjoy using, you enjoy looking into, enjoy doing research on? Any of these topics can just be your next niche. This is actually how I found my very first niche. I had no idea what to write about. I had no idea how to do any competitive analysis or anything of the sort. So I just went around in my room and I just looked like, okay, this is something I enjoy using, this is something I enjoy using, and I just made a list of 3 potential topics and I just went with the one I had the most interest in. Now this is another way to ensure you actually pick a niche that you enjoy, because when it's in your room, chances are you're using it and you're enjoying it and it's something you actually know a little bit about. And lastly, step number 3 is you can always just look up on the internet. Just look up niche lists, just look up things you enjoy, or even better, go to your Google history, your browse history, and see what you're actually looking up. Because maybe you're looking up a lot of things about a certain topic, and this could be your next niche. There really are many ways to just find your next niche, and not all of them are perfect, but most of them are great as long as you find one that you actually enjoy writing about. Now those are the 3 steps to finding a niche. I did say that this is a 4-step process, and here is step number 4, which is probably the most important one and the one that can be the most difficult. And this is doing your due diligence. Not every niche is something worth pursuing. Not every niche is something you can just start writing on. So the most important reason why your niche might not be something you should write on is because there's way too much competition. And the only way to find this competition is to just start Googling things. Think of a few articles you would want to write and just Google them. Just look at the competition and see if there are very large authoritative sites at the top spot, or are there forums there. Now there's a big difference, because authoritative sites at the #1 spots usually mean that you'll have a much harder time breaking through and actually getting these #1 spots yourself. So when you see that there are forums ranking high, this basically means that these are topics with not that much competition and something you could pursue. And when you're doing this competitive analysis, also have a look at if there are actually people searching this. Because maybe forums are ranking at the #1 spot, but maybe that's because there really just aren't that many people interested in this topic. Usually some guidelines I like to go with is if there's a forum or a community of people online already talking about the topic, you could have a niche that is worth pursuing. But there could be some that are just not really that interesting anymore. Maybe you can get 10 to 20,000 page views a month, but that really just isn't that much. So just make up your mind and think for yourself. Is this really something I can write a lot about? And are there actually people looking this up? Finding out whether or not your topic is broad enough is best done by using the party trick. The party trick is a trick invented by Jim and Ricky from Income School, and it basically means that if you're at a party and you're telling people about your niche, will they look at you weirdly, or will they know what you're talking about? If they look at you weirdly, chances are you're a little too niched down. But if they can actually understand some things and talk with you about it, chances are your niche is broad enough. Now, after analyzing your niches, you can come to 2 conclusions. Either your niche is worth pursuing or it's not. And when it's not, you just repeat steps 1 to 4 again. If it is, well, congratulations, you got your niche for your website. But one website is just a start. I always like to go for many more websites. My goal is a portfolio of 10 to 20 websites that are all earning a lot of money. And you can actually do this because building websites is a long and difficult road, but once it's set up, you can leave it be. And this leaves room and time and space for starting a new website on a new niche. That's why I always like to keep an extensive list of potential niches, just so if I ever start a new website, I can just look at the niche, pick one of them, and be ready to go. This just takes away a lot of time where I would be analyzing the niches, because I already did that. So with that being said, those are my 4 steps to finding the perfect niche for your website and making sure that you actually have a backlog of niches. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.